Hello and welcome to the Love Lady. And today we are going to talk a little bit about how to navigate an area of your life where things are just not firing. Things are not working out, and in fact, everything has gone wrong. So, this is perhaps how one feels after a breakup, before they're ready for to get back into the game, or maybe you've tried dating and it just like every date is just going wrong if it's in the area of relationship, or you're having a lot of conflict with your partner if you're in a relationship. Or maybe finances are just falling apart for you, right? You intend abundance and that's what you want, and you're looking for flow and you're looking for more income, more opportunities. You think you're open, you've done all that clearing work, and money's still just flowing out and not flowing in, or that imbalance remains. And or in your health, right? Like maybe you've intended to clean up your diet and get fit and exercise, and instead you find yourself just unable to drive by the next fast food place, and just struggling to get yourself off the couch, or buried in an addiction, and you're still suffering under the effects of that. So just some examples could be in any area of your life, because this method that the love frequency spirit beings, spirit guides team is offering, they're telling me will work for kind of any area. And what I like about this method that they're going to present is that it is a really beautiful combination of engaging the love frequency to move forward as a whole being, brings back your agency, right? So it empowers you, because the story is all about you and being self-reliant, and being able to do something about this area of your life where you're suffering, where you're struggling, where there's pain, where it's not flowing the way that you want. And also, so it's mystical and beautiful, but it's also very practical. Okay, so here goes. So when you are dealing with an area of your life that's just not working, not firing, the one of the wisdoms that if you're into any of the law of attraction teachings, the teaching is going to be to focus on what you want and not what you don't want, right? And that is critically important. So if you are having struggles, let's use the example of you're single and you're looking for a partner, and it's just not going well, and you're not meeting all the right people, and right, then one of the things you can do is take a minute to refocus on what is the eventual outcome that you're going for. So how does it feel? What is the emotional experience? What is your internal state after you're in the beautiful relationship that you desire? And let yourself take a minute. Like, this does not have to be a long, arduous process, but take a minute to feel into the spaciousness, beautiful, love-filled abundance of that feeling. And if you've never been in an in-love relationship, if you've never been in that kind of a supportive relationship, then use whatever imaginative tool you need to use. So whether that is from fiction, a movie, a book, a story, an example of somebody else, an example that from a fairy tale, anything that you can feel into that puts you in that feeling state of relaxation and abundance, and just a sense that all is well, that sense of abiding kind of contentment with that area of your life. And give yourself that gift as both a touchstone for where you're headed, a reminder of where you're headed, and some empowerment to do the next piece. So it's like an emotional vacation, or like an emotional trip to the spa for this area of your life. And after you've gotten that feeling, now we're going to come back to the current situation, right? And then turn your focus and attention to mapping out a solution to any practical elements of the problem or the area of your life that's not working, and really plan it out, map it out, draw it out, list it out, come up with some steps for identifying what's not working, feel into, attempt to diagnose why it's not working, and then what are the things that you know you can do that could be, different actions you can take, different steps you can take, different areas you can focus. What can you learn about this area of your life so that you have a concrete plan that you can at least take one step to start to implement right away. Now, this piece, granted, could take some time, right? It just depends on the area of your life. It depends on how much you feel like you know. This is one where it's nice if you can find a buddy or you can find other people also working on this sort of thing. Um, and look to an expert, look to a guide, maybe do a session with a coach, maybe do a session with somebody like me who does kind of a psychic intuitive tap into your higher self. This is a good way to get out of your own way to create a plan, but you can of course do all of this on your own as well. So come up with your concrete plan and then take the first step, and then calendar reminders for as frequently as you can manage it. So every couple of days, maybe once a week, where you touch back into the practical solutions that you are implementing to give yourself the comfort that you're going to be in this beautiful place down the road. So when you're practically working on it, their suggestion is, start each one of those sessions with putting yourself in that abundant feeling of contentment place. Remind yourself that that's where you will end up, and then dig your toes in and get to work. And finally, do your best to give yourself the gift of a 30,000-foot view of where you currently are. So sometimes when we are in a place where just nothing is working, right? We tend to our sense of time tends to trick us into feeling like we are failing, like there's just no hope, like we're going to be stuck in this place forever. But this is that reminder that there's beauty in perspective. That if you can get yourself to look up at the 30,000-foot view, and look down on the whole landscape of your life, right? And remind yourself that there are a lot of other areas of your life that are probably working. And if there are none, that you may be just in a place where you're at a roadblock on your path, but the path is long and the path is winding and the path continues past this moment, and you will get to the other side of it. And if you've ever bushwhacked, like if you've ever bushwhacked or hiked through um, a landscape where it requires you scrabbling, right? Like um, you're going to run into blocks. You're going to run into things where you will need to find solutions and go around messy pieces of topography, right? And bushwhacking is just where you're hiking through the woods with no trail, right? Which is life, by the way. And so it's inevitable that that is going to happen, right? None of us come in knowing exactly what to do in every situation, right? Even if we have rather a feathered nest, even if we have a lot of resources and a lot of tools and a lot of intelligence and a lot of gifts, still, life has a just sort of humorous way of throwing at us something that we don't expect or that's difficult for us to get over. And that is an opportunity to bring some extra love to a place within ourselves where we might not have complete acceptance of our difficulties, or an area where we feel less than intelligent, or an area where we feel angry or hurt or abandoned, and to find our way to love ourselves through that, to love that part of our life, to extend some appreciation for the gifts that that area of life is offering us, to connect back into a planet that is constantly giving us gifts, to connect into humanity and the teachers and the other people who are offering us the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and from their tools and from their systems, and to really honor and cherish your own ability to solve your own problems, to really give yourself the chance to love and accept yourself more for your courage in even being willing to look at and develop a plan in this area of your life. So I invite you as well, if you feel the call, if you want to celebrate areas of your life that are working well, if you want to share your love celebrations or share your small victories, right? If there's an area where you have taken the first step and it was hard and you wanted to brag about that and tell people, it would be such a joy to have you as part of the Love Lady community. That's what we do. We actively practice taking the principles of the law of attraction and sharing the good stuff with each other. So it is a healing community that is grounded in love and celebration, right? So we don't complain about what's wrong. We instead, we pivot our attention to what's right, what's working, what have I solved, what is the contentment that I'm going for, right? And what am I doing to get there? How am I celebrating the successes, the victories, my self-reliance, my agency? How am I celebrating using my free will, my ability to choose where my attention goes, to attend to pay attention to work on, to play on, to dance on, and in that which I desire to create, that which I want more of. And with that, I hope you'll join us. I wish you a love-filled day, a love-filled week, and a love-filled life.
Love lady came to town. Love lady came to town.